Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to another Irish Stew video where I take a bunch of stuff that's on my mind and just bombard you with my droning thoughts about it. It's kind of a catch-all video, hence the title. Coming off a rather big surprise, it was a small surprise to me that so many of you like these videos, because there's a large chunk of every Irish Stew video that isn't about books. So it struck me that that would be thin ice, but a large number of you, very vocal number of you, love these videos, love this idea for a video. That was the small surprise, and the large surprise was yesterday's Irish Stew video. I'm still getting emails about it. I think it's fair to say I'm being bombarded with emails about it. I guess you all really liked it. The common theme for running through a lot of the emails that I'm getting is not just that you like the video, but that you really like it when I talk about history. Anyway, that was a thrill to know that you were all so much enjoying that one video. So I thought we'd do it again. We'll do it again. We'll do another Irish Stew video. Once again, broken down in the usual way. We'll talk about some story or stories from the world, the broader world, then the U.S., then broader YouTube, then BookTube. I am a booktuber, and then me. If we're going to start with the world, we can start with the world and all known worlds, because I don't know how much you pay attention to Reddit or TikTok. But the fundamentalist Christians in the United States are absolutely convinced that the world is going to end tomorrow. I say absolutely convinced, but they aren't absolutely convinced, because they aren't acting like they would act if they were sure that they weren't going to be here on Wednesday. None of them are. When it comes to lunacy like this, as odd as it sounds, I value people who have the strength of their convictions. That famous guy, years and years ago with another Christian Beehive movement about how the world was going to end on a particular day at a particular hour. It was a particular guy who sold everything he had in the world. He sold all of his possessions. He got rid of his house, got rid of everything. And someone had a camera trained right on him when the moment of that previous rapture came and went. So you could see the look on his face as he realizes, well, I am now a pauper. I don't have any money. I don't have any possessions. I don't have anywhere to live. Don't have a job. I don't have anything. Someone actually filmed his face. Well, that was pathetic, of course, and deeply psychologically disturbed, but at least he had the courage of his convictions. At least he believed what he was saying. There's one thing that I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's that fundamentalist Christians in America absolutely do not believe anything about Christianity. None of it. None of it. They are using it only as a sop to do other things, to do things they want to do anyway. And if it was the Mayan mythology that let them do those things, they'd be a devout worshiper of that. An early commercial break. But the talk all over Reddit and all over TikTok is that the world is going to end tomorrow, that the rapture is going to happen tomorrow. Keep in mind, those are two different things. Most of the people who are hosting ecstatic videos, they're jumping up and down with joy. What do their parents think about that? What do their friends in the neighborhood, what do their coworkers think about that? That you're so happy that you're going to be out of this world tomorrow. You're so happy about that. It's a mental illness, obviously, but something that they're jumping up and down in these videos and saying that they are just so happy that Christ is coming back. They conflate those two things. They say it's the end of the world, it's the rapture. Keep in mind that those two things are not at all the same thing. In late Christian mythology, of course, the rapture is not biblical. No element of it is. But the idea in late Christian mythology, in 19th century Christian mythology, is that the rapture is a mystical time when Christians will suddenly vanish from the world. And only the so-called heathen or the sinners will be left. The righteous Christians will be simply assumed into heaven. Which obviously is not the same thing as the end of the world. Right? Since there are billions of people on earth who are not Christians. So it's not the same thing. In their ecstatic videos, they're all ecstatic. They're all saying, remember, do this or think this way. I'm so happy, guys. Oh, it's almost over. What do the people in your life think when they hear you say that? Do they know that you consider knowing them to be hell? Anyway, in all of those videos, the Christian evangelical Christians in America are saying that the world is going to end tomorrow, meaning that all the Christians in the world are going to vanish tomorrow. Now, I think I've made myself pretty clear on this channel. I am not a Christian. I don't have any religious faith at all. But I think I've made it pretty clear on this channel that I respect those who do. I will jump, and I will jump pretty quick if you extend your faith into a fact claim. Because then you're telling me about my own world in totally insupportable ways. You are extending your faith into the world of fact. I'll jump pretty quick on that. And I'll be merciless about it. If you tell me, you know, I have a devout belief in the Christian gods and the Christian pantheon, and I like to think that it informs the way I live, well, I'm going to respect that. I'm going to have a lot of questions about it. I'm actually going to ask you for a lot of dialogue about that. But if you tell me I believe in the Christian pantheon, I believe in the Christian way of life, and also Noah's flood happened, I'm going to jump all over you. Because Noah's flood is a fact claim, and it didn't happen. It's obvious mythology. Most of you have been okay with that dividing line. You've understood it pretty clearly, that your Christian faith I am not attacking at all. Not in the slightest. I'm attacking it in only two ways. One is if you make a fact claim. If you say, I'm a Christian, I'm going to say, that's great, tell me more about it if you're willing. If you say, I'm a Christian and the world is 6,000 years old, I'm going to say, no, it's not. It's demonstrably not. So I'm not attacking anybody's faith when I say that, you know, the meme right now is don't threaten me with a good time. I think any sane person, including lots and lots of sane Christians, maybe a lot of sane Christians who are watching this video right now, would be very, very happy. It would be a sigh of relief if those fundamentalist Christians all disappeared tomorrow. That would be a sigh. The rest of us would sigh with relief. You are a poisonous subset. We don't want you around. You are the worst people in the world. So if you're saying, well, tomorrow we'll all be gone, I don't think that means suffering for the rest of us. I think it means we won't have measles outbreaks anymore. I think it means that maybe women will get their bodily autonomy back. I think it means a whole bunch of things, none of them negative. But that is the world and all known worlds. I don't know. Is Jupiter affected by the rapture? I have no idea. That is the world news, but it feeds directly into the U.S. news. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening in the U.S. Oh my God, we could talk about all sorts of things. But I made a huge mistake. I watched the funeral service, memorial service, auditorium, Bund rally for Charlie Kirk. I made the mistake of watching. I watched the whole thing. I barely know how to describe it. I barely know the words to use. But I had one incredibly strong impression about the halfway point. And it wasn't partisan. I know it's going to sound partisan. It's going to sound political, but it wasn't. It was purely personal. It was, these people are completely insane. Whatever the factors are that are making them that way, every person who's coming up on this stage and all the people in the audience are completely insane. They're living not only in an alternate reality, but in a savage, blood-soaked, licking flames alternate reality, so at odds with the world around them that I wonder how they navigate an automated parking garage. My number one reaction when I finished was this was an insane gathering. There was not a sane word said anywhere in it. But aside from that, everything that was said also had one other common denominator. I won't hit too hard on this because I got a little pushback when I made my original comments about Charlie Kirk's death. But there was one other element of this memorial service, this funeral service, that was utterly unmistakable. And that was a gnashing, howling, raging hatred. Just the whole event was suffused with hatred. Everyone coming up on the podium was speaking, chuckling, chortling directly to a blood-thick river of hatred. Just, it oozed off every part of that stage for the whole length of it. That this was a whole event dedicated to hating other people. I don't think it was missable unless you are completely indoctrinated and just could not look at it, objectively speaking. You just could not do it. Of course, the thing that will get the most news, the thing that will be quoted the most, is the President of the United States saying that he hates most of America. That is none of this business. I don't think he said it in a while, but none of this business of being a unifier. You hate anybody who doesn't worship you. That will probably get the most commentary, but to me, of course, you're going to be able to see this coming, of course, especially if you've seen other Irish Stew videos. To me, the most chilling thing in the whole was Stephen Miller, the country's foremost Nazi. His speech, I would tell you go and listen to it, but I don't want you to. It was horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. To have such a thing said from a podium in front of cameras in the United States of America should show you everything that I've been saying for the last 9 years. It should demonstrate that to you and remove all remaining doubt. It did not bring the audience to a horrified quiet. It made them stand and cheer. And it was foam-flecked, fascist, genuinely Hitlerian rhetoric. At a funeral, at a memorial service. So the U.S. news is this thing, this thing, whatever it was, just blasting out Chernobyl radiation levels of pure hatred. Hatred was a palpable theme of this whole thing. Anyway, we can move on to BookTube. To YouTube just in general. YouTube just in general. I want to recommend once again William Gallagher's channel, 58 Keys. It's a writing channel. It's a very good writing channel, hosted by a very experienced writer. And his writing workshop video today was about some thoughts of his on the jobs that your characters have in fiction. And as usual, with every 58 Keys writing workshop video, I wish it was 3 times as long. Full of more anecdotes, full of more exercises, full of more instructions, more insight into all of it. I loved it. Absolutely. I'll leave a link to it. I'm not going to leave a link to the Charlie Kirk hate fest. I'm not going to do that. I don't want you. I certainly don't want you to watch the whole thing. If you doubt what I'm saying, and you think you're in any way capable of being objective, I'm sure that Stephen Miller's ranting speech alone is cut up and on YouTube somewhere. I'm sure you can just watch that. And I don't know what to tell you. If you can watch that speech and think there's nothing wrong with it, then there's something wrong with you. Almost certainly, the reaction you're going to have to his speech especially will be the same reaction I had, which was to automatically start looking around for the CC'd English because I thought I was hearing it in screamed German. I honestly did. So but anyway, getting back to YouTube, William Gallagher's writing videos are great. You should go and subscribe to his channel. And I wondered, I automatically thought about the writing videos that I'm not making on this channel, and also about all the writing that you do, and how you deal with character jobs. Obviously, from my rants on this channel, you know that it's a bugaboo of mine with contemporary fiction. Most writers of contemporary fiction tell you what their character's job is and then never show you them doing that job, and give them all sorts of free time and huge amounts of disposable income that they wouldn't have if that was their job. Because most of the people writing contemporary fiction have never had a job. So they have no idea what they're talking about. But anyway, there's that. And then there's Disshelved with Adam White. I don't know if he's a booktuber or not. We'll put him in the liminal space in between. He did a really good video of Marvel Comics used to have square-bound black and white reprint volumes called the Essential volumes, where they reprinted huge chunks of their backstock, and they did them on cheap paper and in black and white to keep the price of the Essential volumes down. Rather ironic, considering that some of those Essential volumes are now collectible and are worth 5 times what that price tag is. But he did one on Marvel Comics run of Rawhide Kid, which, like most of Marvel's Western characters, Rawhide Kid went on for too long and was often created by substandard writers and especially substandard artists. But for a little while there, Jack Kirby did Rawhide Kid, and wonderfully. And all of that is in that Essential volume. So well done job. And then when we come to BookTube, James Holder did the 5 Alive challenge. My 5 Alive challenge is still barely alive. Someone else needs to take it up now. And that is where it started with Geeks Love Dogs, where he did just a video where he recommended 5 books. And I took that video and made it strict and full of rules, where you recommend 5 books, and one of them has to in some way touch thematically or otherwise on some book by the previous 5 Alive video. And also you have to end with a graphic novel. And I did a video like that, and then Daniel Guilty Feet did a video like that, and now James Holder has done a video like that, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. He starts off his books with Mrs. Dalloway, shows an edition of Mrs. Dalloway that I don't have, and I kind of wish I did. Disappointingly says that he didn't get along with Mrs. Dalloway. I'm hoping that will be fixed with time. I'm hoping that won't stay true. And then he mentioned a volume of poetry by Austin Smith, I think, called Flyover Country. Apparently poetry that reflects the ethos or the aesthetic of the American Midwest. I don't think I've never read Flyover Country. I'd love to know what it's like. James mentions Our Town by Thornton Wilder, the play. I strongly second that mention. It is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It doesn't seem it. At first, it doesn't seem it. When you're reading the first part or watching, there are whole performances on YouTube for free. The second part of the play, you're watching very intentionally quotidian lives. People just going on about their business. No great crises, no great plot developments. And then you get to the devastating third act where you realize that life is the plot development. And there's no way that I can explain that. You'll just have to watch it. But it was a great recommendation. He also recommended Weavers, Scribes, and Kings by Amanda Podany, which is terrific. An absolutely terrific book. I'm so glad that I can't remember if I sent him a copy or maybe he read it before he even heard my name. But it is terrific. It's a very good ground-up history, looking not so much at the kings and queens and the warlords as at the ordinary people. For whom, if you are industrious enough and creative enough, there is a large amount of documentary evidence. And this author does that in spades. So it really, really works. And then the final thing that he recommended was a graphic novel, and that was My Hero Academia, which his beloved manga. I don't tend to read manga. I know about this series, of course, but I have never looked at it. I'm sure that I wouldn't understand it if I did. But his description was quite interesting. I'll leave a link to the video. And then we come to the me section of this Irish stew. And we have BookTube events, one of which caused a riffle of coincidence for me today, because last night I reread Danger Planet, which is a Captain Future adventure. This introduces Captain Future and the Future Men, and puts them in a cheesy adventure that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed this the first time I read it, which I read for BookTube, and I enjoyed it even more the second time. Tiny little thing, and the reason why it was a coincidence is because today at the Brattle I found a copy of an old Asimov science fiction copy. Right there it says The Death of Captain Future on the cover. So Captain Future was in my mind. I really enjoyed this, though. And then I read for Sumerian September, Savage Sword of Conan number 127. Very overdone cover here, very busy. And also the cover doesn't make any sense. But there's lots of other great artwork in here. Ernie Chan does the back cover in black and white, maybe after Hallucinogen or two. Maybe. And there's also a couple of great Rudy Nebres illustrations. Really, really good pinups there. That I don't know whether you would take them out and frame them or not, but the main story is written by Don Krar, with artwork by Mike Doherty for part of the story, because it's a huge story. It's like 30 pages. And Rudy Nebres for another part of the story. And the neat thing about the story is that it involves Valeria, a classic character from Robert E. Howard's Conan stories. The writers of Marvel Comics Conan like to be pretty sparing with use of named characters, special fan favorite characters from Conan. They didn't have Valeria in every issue. They didn't have a whole bunch of characters. They didn't have a whole bunch of characters in every issue. They were sparing. They used it sparingly, and she's done wonderfully here. They argue for the whole of the issue, but they also love each other. What is the wording here? Conan says, Crom's beard, why do men put up with sharp-tongued, ungrateful shrews? And Valeria says, because you enjoy it. And Conan says, I never feel more alive than when I'm near you. And she says, could you have missed me half as much as I missed you? Good stuff. Very good stuff. And a good story, too. There's a drastic drop-off in the artwork. Once Rudy Nebres stops being involved, the artwork starts to be very Vince Colletta. It starts to not really be much of anything. But the story was very good. So there was 2 BookTube events. And then we had a crisis. You wouldn't think that I would have so many crises since I'm 1,000,000 years old and I sit on my couch all day long. But I managed to have them. And somewhere out there, long-term guests at Hyde Cottage are going, oh yeah, he does. He has them all the time. The crisis last night is I was minding my own business. I was reading on my Kindle Oasis, a now discontinued older Kindle that has a metal backing. It has a grip for the hand. It has page turn buttons. I was reading and enjoying myself on my Kindle Oasis when it simply stopped working. It froze. No page turning would work. I was not able to power it off. It just didn't do anything. It bricked on me on one page of what I was reading. I fought with it for a long time, and I was irritated with it for a long time. And then I thought, well, no, don't do this. Don't fight with inanimate objects. So I put it away. I actually have a second Kindle Oasis because I like it so much. It is so obviously the perfect e-reader. So I grabbed the second Kindle Oasis. I charged it to full power. And then I called up the book that I had been reading. Amazon syncs the pages so that the minute you call up the book and enter into it, a little box will appear at the bottom saying, do you want to go to the last page you were on? I do. Very nice. That's certainly nicer than print and paper books. And I thought, okay, well, just calm down. It bricked, but it didn't explode. So you'll be able to figure out what's wrong with it, or somebody will. It's still there. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy your reading. Just keep reading. And I did. And then that Kindle Oasis bricked on me. Just froze up. Now, I have not talked to any tech friends about this. I wonder from tech friends if it was the file that was maybe doing that. I don't know. I have no idea. Or is it the fact that Kindle Oasis, as I mentioned, has been discontinued? And so they maybe have planned obsolescence. Maybe they're going to start to brick on me. I mean, very much older Kindles, there are plenty of stories, plenty of you have stories about having a very much older Kindle that still works just fine, but there are also tons and tons of stories of those Kindles just mysteriously stopping, almost as if Amazon wants you to go and buy a new one. I have no idea, but that was too much. When the second one bricked, that was too much. I love the Kindle Oasis because it's got the grip and it's got the page turn buttons and it's got the metal back. I love it as a device. I like that a lot more than the standard look of a normal Kindle, the Paperwhite or the Basic, which is just one object that has no grip, it has no page turn buttons, and the power button is on the bottom right where you rest it in your hand. I have those. I have a Paperwhite and I have a Kindle Basic, but I prefer the Kindle Oasis. But I didn't want to stop reading. I didn't want mere fate to tell me you're not going to do any more reading or you're going to have to go to boring old print and paper books. So I hauled out, I went to the tech cabinet and I looked at the other e-readers. And I grabbed a Kindle Paperwhite. nice big black Kindle Paperwhite. Then I realized, okay, well, the Kindle Oasis has its own plug. It has that old style plug that all electronic devices once have and that none of them have anymore. It has its own plug that I have plugged into the power strip. I have the cord sitting right there, but only in one place. I only have one version of that cord. I don't have it in the little book room. I don't have it anywhere else. And that Kindle Paperwhite that I grabbed first takes that same power. So I thought, no. If you're gonna go, the thing you love here is the Kindle Oasis. If you're gonna go for second best, if you're gonna settle for some other device, then at least get one that has USB-C, because you have USB-C cords in both at the Fainting Couch and in the little book room. Just do that. So I went back to the little blue Kindle, the Kindle Basic. This thing has the raised bezels there. See, the bezels are raised just a tiny bit. And it's extremely lightweight, and it's blue, and it's got the USB-C thing there. It's so lightweight, in fact, and the bezels are so easy to grip that you really, I discovered when I was irritatedly reviving this thing and looking at it, I discovered that you don't need really to rest this in the palm of your hand. It's so light that you don't need to do that. So I don't know what's going on with the Kindle Oases, but they are shelved for now, and this is my Kindle. It is relatively brand new. I think I bought this last year. It's lightweight. It's got all the latest tech. It's not been the model has not been discontinued. It takes USB-C, so I'm just using this now. The size of the palm of my hand, the smallest e-reader that I have. So there you go. That is the me part here. A tech crisis. You wouldn't think it would be a crisis because I have 6,000 print and paper books here, but the first time the Kindle Oasis froze, all those books were saying, "What about us? What about us?" And then the time the second Kindle froze, they were all saying, "What about us? We don't freeze on you." Anyway, that is your Irish stew video for today. We'll try to do this again tomorrow, whatever this is, and I'll see you then. Thank you, BookTube.